Hey, it's Susan Berkley with the Inside VoiceOver Video e-newsletter. And today I got a question for you. Do you make these 5 recording studio mistakes? Now, sometimes you're working from home, but the day will come, and every once in a while in VoiceOver, you're actually going into an outside studio. And if you've never done that before, if you're used to working at home and not used to being in a professional studio where people are directing you, you might make a few mistakes that are kind of not so good. So let me clue you into what those are and help you avoid them. So the first is, don't touch the microphone. In those big studios, they often have very expensive mics. A lot of studios have Neumann microphones. I was in one the other day. It was a $30,000 mic. It was a vintage Neumann. Boy, did that thing sound great. So when you're in one of those studios with one of those mics, don't be moving the mic around, never touch it. That is for the recording engineer. He or she will come in and adjust the microphone for you. So hands off the mic. Number 2 is the best way to set levels. You know what I mean by setting levels, getting the recording level where it needs to be so your voice sounds great. The proper way to set a level when you're in a directed session with an outside studio is to actually read the script the way you think it should be read. And here's a hint. I usually start from the middle of the script, not from the beginning, so they know I'm not warmed up yet. So set the level by actually reading the script and keep reading until the engineer tells you to stop. And heaven forbid, never tap on the microphone and go, "Is this thing on?" No, don't do that. So the right way to set levels is to read your script. 4th mistake people make is the headphones that they're wearing. When they're setting the level, I never put the headphones on my ear. Why? Because sometimes there can be feedback, which could damage your hearing. So I will have the headphones up here on the top part of my head or around my neck while they're setting levels. Next thing is multiple takes. So once the session begins, don't be alarmed if they ask you to do it again and again and again. Sometimes our beginner voiceover students are surprised at how many takes it takes to actually get going, to actually have a finished read. It's not uncommon at all to have them do it 5 times, 10 times, even 20 times or more, and then they'll end up using the first take anyway. So just give them what they want. Don't be alarmed if they ask for multiple takes. And then the final thing is something I call talkback paranoia. What's that? Okay, here's how it goes. You're in the voice booth, right? The sound isolation booth. You finished putting a few takes down. Then the producer says to you, hang on a second, over the talkback. And then because you're in a soundproof space, you can't hear them. They hear you, of course, but you see their mouths moving. They're talking to one another, and your mind starts thinking, oh my goodness, they hate me. They're talking about me. But that's not the case at all. They're ordering lunch. So don't succumb to talkback paranoia. If they hired you, they love you. Have a great session, and good luck in VoiceOver. I'm Susan Berkley from GreatVoice.com, and I'll be back next week with another edition of Inside VoiceOver.